It's pretty uncommon for me to have a show this cartoonish where I'm genuinely concerned that maybe all the characters won't make it through to the end. So, Gravity Falls, Season 2. I have now seen it with my kid, and we both enjoyed it quite a bit. We had a lot of fun with it. I tell you, I enjoyed Season 1. People weren't kidding when they said, oh, just wait till you get to Season 2. So, yeah, there will be spoilers. If you haven't seen Season 2, don't watch this review. Don't do that to yourself. Because, I knew some stuff went bonkers. I didn't know it went this bonkers. So, it's about halfway through the season. Well, even before we get to that. Fairly early on, this season is dropping the pretense of kid-friendly monsters. There's some genuinely horrific imagery in this. Not like even just safe for the finale, although that does have some as well, but I'm thinking of the shapeshifter that's pretending to be the author of the diaries, and that thing is visually horrifying, and that was kind of the first thing that season that made me go, oh, wow, okay, and then stuff like that keeps happening across the season. The one my daughter commented on was Bill's throne of petrified people. She was quick to point out, that's creepy. I'm like, yep, yes it is. But that's getting into finale territory. So, halfway through, we get the bomb dropped on us about Ford. That Stan is not really who everybody thinks he is. He is not Stanford Pines. He is Stanley Pines. He is the twin brother. Which normally, pulling a surprise twin brother out of nowhere, I'd be like, oh, come on. But, it clicks so many things into place that it makes an awful lot of sense. And the build-up to that is honestly, that twist itself, pretty good. The build-up to it is incredible. That episode, I forget, I think it's episode 10, but it's the episode where, because Dipper doesn't know what Stan is doing, he thinks he needs to be stopped. And Stan doesn't have time to explain. He's like, just let me do this. No, I'm not who you think I am, but you need to trust me. And it's kind of heartbreaking to look back and realize he was being as honest as he could in the time that he had. I have been lying to you, but I need you to trust me. And that was true. And, oh man, that was some tense stuff. Good stuff. Ford himself he's fine as a character. He's voiced by J.K. Simmons, so that helps. Oh, also Nick Offerman is in this season as a government agent, of course, because with a voice like Nick Offerman, who else are you gonna have him voice? So that was fun to hear those voices in there. Speaking of the voices in general, the ones that annoyed me, I kind of got used to. I still don't love Stan's voice. I still find Gideon annoying. But those voices didn't grate on me as much as they did in the first season. And of course, the characters who I like were still great. You got Seuss. Hey, dudes. I really do love Seuss. I've been eating anything for days aside from part of my hat. I love him. He's wonderful. And Mabel's a lot of fun, and Waddles is safe at the end. Oh, that was a genuine concern. But okay, so Bill. Bill worked for me much better this time. Not that he failed for me season 1, but his introductory story, it was like, oh, okay. So I know you're going to end up being like the big bad or whatever, but really getting into how twisted he is and how much he enjoys messing with everything, and the fury and how quick on a dime he can turn. That worked. Honestly, when I realized this was a 4-part finale, part of me was like, really? Really? But no, it earns it. Granted, one of those is almost completely self-contained in Mabel World, but Weirdmageddon earns a 4-part finale. It's insane. It's intense. It's just nuts. It lives up to the name, and like legitimate props to this show, because so often I feel like I'll watch shows that will do something narratively that gives them a blank check to be able to do whatever they want, and then they don't do anything all that inventive or all that much that I haven't seen before. Whereas this, like, I'm watching a giant head drag itself around by an arm growing out of the top of it and going, hey, you want to get in my mouth? I'm like, nope, I've never seen that before. And a giant purple loaf of bread with really jacked arms. Nope, I have not. I haven't seen that. And in the sense of I have not seen that before happened a lot, especially in the finale. And if you're gonna call your finale something like Weirdmageddon, you need to bring the weird, and they did. So really, just the way that it built and the sense of just immense odds. It's impressive to look back at the first few episodes and realize that, it's a little weird. They're dealing with stuff a little like, that's a little, should kids be messing with stuff like that? I don't know. Kind of weirdness. And then to escalate to the point that it did and have it work, that is impressive. Somewhere along the line, it should have felt like a harsh left turn, but it never did. It felt gradual and felt earned. Oh, you know what? What we learned about Old Man McGucket. That is kind of sad and tragic. What we find out about him and his backstory. Like, especially if you view what happened to him as basically an accelerated form of dementia. And, speaking as someone who has watched family members lose themselves to dementia, I'm not sure I was supposed to be as sort of by that as I was, but it worked. So that was good stuff. The way that Bill's defeated at the end, oh man, that was cathartic. Like, especially being channeled through Stan, who at that point I was afraid was going to be completely sidelined and be nothing but an obstacle in the last few episodes to step up and be willing to do that. And so I'm slightly of two minds of the fact that he got his memory back. On the one hand, part of me goes, of course, because when it's kids media, the big sacrifice at the end, unless it's a reformed villain or an attempting to be a reformed villain sacrificing themselves, if it's someone we've been meaning to love the whole time, of course, whatever the sacrifice is, they'll get it back. So part of me is like that, and along the same lines, I was like, if there was ever a show that I thought was going to stick to its guns and actually pay off that consequence, it would have been this show. So part of me was a little bit disappointed. But then the ending hit, when Ford says, I've been picking up things and I would love to go investigate it, but I need a partner to help me sail around the world and have adventures. And that's all Stan ever wanted. And even though it's a bit overly neat and a little too happily ever after, I did like that. That felt good. That felt right. So I dig that. Was I meant to read the sheriff and the deputy as a gay couple? Because I do. I absolutely do. I mean, that's a hell of a bromance if if they are not a couple. I don't know why that popped into my head. I think that's about it. This was a good show. I was afraid that it was going to have been overhyped, and I think I waited just the right amount of time. I missed it when it aired, and I think I was right to wait some years until after for basically the real insane, oh my God, you need to see it sort of phase has passed, so that I can take it in knowing it's very well liked, but not feeling like I've got hype breathing down my neck. I really did enjoy this show. It's not like absolute top tier to my taste the way something like, say, Cheer on the Princesses of Power is, but it's dang good. And I'll probably rewatch it at some point. It was a good time. Gravity Falls Season 2. What'd you think about it? Whatever your thoughts are, drop something down in the comments. Let's talk about it. I have a Patreon, and that helps me pay the bills. Link up there and stuff. And there's also merch and links to my various social medias. But you also don't have to do any of this, because end of the day, you're the council. I just run the meetings. And until next time, this council is adjourned.